Dallas Cowboys fans, this is what you've been looking for. A show discussing the team you love without all the fluff and BS. Host Greg Rector, along with Cowboys writers and content creators from across the country, break it down. This isn't the same old, same old. This is the blue and silver breakdown. How about them Cowboys?
Hey, everybody. So, last week I said 24-20 for the Cowboys, and it ended up 24-21. Pretty good guess, huh? Oh, you poor Eagles fans. Watching you on X and on Threads and various other platforms here has just been hilarious. Nick Sirianni, you didn't watch the game against the Broncos or the Raiders? And seeing the Cowboys using a five-man front? You said you weren't ready for that? I don't understand this, but okay, whatever. Saquon Barkley was held to 2.2 yards per carry. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the type of defense I want to see the Dallas Cowboys play. That was magnificent. Yes, they messed up in the first half. But again, when they made it 21-7 at halftime, I knew Dak Prescott was going to be on fire in that second half. And oh yeah, George Pickens as well. See, this is what I said after week one. They used CeeDee Lamb way too much. He had the 4 drops. This time he had 3 drops against the Eagles. But this time they used Mr. Pickens. And was that ever magnificent? 9 catches, 146 yards, and a touchdown. Adoree Jackson gave up 3 catches for 41 yards, including the touchdown. Quinyon Mitchell, he gave up a couple of passes to Pickens. Cooper DeJean also gave up yardage to Pickens, and to Kobe Dean for another 13 yards. It was magnificent to watch. That was the way the Cowboys need to be playing football. Oh, and Dak is now the all-time leading passer for the Cowboys as well. Please get those other 12 touchdowns to pass Tony Romo. That'll be fine by me as well. This Cowboys team is a totally different roster since that trade. You got Wilson and Hooker back at safety. You've got Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson, Siobhan Ravel, and DeMarion Overshown. This defense is nowhere near as bad as what it was. And thank heavens for that. Thank you. But again, I don't understand. I don't understand the comments that I see out of the Philadelphia coaches and even the players that they weren't ready for this 5-man front. I was ready for it. I said last week the 5-man front is going to be in use a lot more, and it was. So again. The Eagles, as I said at the beginning of this year, I did not see the Eagles or this week's opponent, the Kansas City Chiefs, going back to a Super Bowl. I just didn't see it. It's nothing against either one of those two franchises. I just didn't see it happening. I picked the Rams and the Bills. The Bills, unfortunately, are injury plagued, and their linebacking core is just killing them. But the Rams, they are number one. The Patriots have a 10-2 record, but this Rams team is just on fire. Basically, the Cowboys have the Kansas City Chiefs coming to town this week. And yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes and all that nonsense that goes with them. Well, I don't care about Travis Kelce. I really don't care for his brother, the former Eagles center, Jason. The whole wide receiver thing between Worthy and Schuster and Rice and da 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 da. Well, we'll see what Patrick Mahomes has in store for the Cowboys on Thursday. You have to also think that this team is not used to a 4-day week like the Cowboys are. This is old hat to these Cowboys. They know exactly what to do on this short week. I'm not so sure that after the overtime victory against the Indianapolis Colts, which I'm not giving the Chiefs any credit for, I think it was a Shane Steichen mistake. He just did not run Jonathan Taylor anywhere near enough. And I think I saw some comments today where he said basically the same thing. So, well, you know, if you have that guy who can carry the football that way, you use him. And I think they just got away from that a little bit. That ended up costing them. You know, they had a 20-9 lead. They ended up losing 23-20 in overtime. The ratings for this Thanksgiving Day game are going to be massive. The 2022 game between the Giants and the Cowboys is number one on that list. Well, I think that's going to be bypassed by a big amount of numbers. If Taylor Swift is actually there, I could care less. Again, I'm not a Swiftie. I have one song of hers in my playlist. So again, I don't care about Taylor Swift. You know, when the camera goes to her, I don't care. I could care less. It's just like when they show Jerry on camera. No, during a football game, I don't care what Jerry Jones is doing. I want to see the players and the coaching. That's what I want to see. It'll be a pleasant day on Thursday if the Cowboys do play exactly as they played against the Eagles. It's just got to happen. I hope for a much better start rather than the comeback victory. But again, you know, 21 points down and they come back and score 24. Nothing wrong with that. But, you know, it would be nice to have an easier time with a start. This is definitely going to be a game where I don't believe the Chiefs have enough talent at running back. Yes, they signed Dameon Pierce today. Kareem Hunt looked awfully battered and bruised in that game against the Colts. So again, if Patrick Mahomes is just back there throwing that football, I'm not so sure, so certain that that's going to be the ideal answer for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Cowboys are playing a lot better. Yes, okay, it was the Raiders. Blah blah blah. Right? Yeah, okay. But geez, they came out and did this to the Super Bowl champion Eagles. The Super Bowl champion Eagles went down to this Cowboys team, this defense that everybody said was so awful. Well, that defense certainly shut down the Eagles' offense. And if they come out and play that same way against Kansas City Chiefs, Kansas City's in for a long afternoon, folks. But again, this Cowboys team, and I've said it before, they're not likely to make the playoffs. If they do beat Kansas City and then go up and beat Detroit, well, then we're talking a different ball game, because then it's just the Vikings, the Chargers, who have no offensive line, the Commanders on Christmas Day, and the Giants to end the season. I mean, that could be an 11-5-1 team. I think that gets you into the playoffs if they go unbeaten. Even if they go 10-6-1, they could still make the playoff. But again, we'll see what happens. I was ready to throw in the towel after that Broncos defeat. But this team has looked very, very different since the trade deadline. Getting Ravel and Overshown back as well, along with Wilson and Hooker. They're basically back to what they should be, which is a decent defense. And of course, we all know about the offense for the Cowboys. It has been on fire. Everybody's talking that CeeDee Lamb's now the number 2 receiver. No, he's not. CeeDee Lamb is still the number 1 receiver. CeeDee Lamb has been dropping football since he came into this league 5 years ago. He leads the NFL in drops. So, if you're expecting anything less than what we've already seen, well, I think you're going to be sadly mistaken. So CeeDee Lamb is still the number 1 receiver for the Cowboys. George Pickens definitely is the 1B guy. But again, I think everybody's making too much of a big deal over the drops that CeeDee Lamb has against the Eagles. It was 4 in the first game and 3 this last game. So there's 7 right there, right? I just think CeeDee is trying to do too much. And CeeDee just has to get it out of his head that he doesn't have to be perfect. No player is perfect. Okay, yes, Mr. Pickens went 9 for 9, but if you don't include the penalty calls for both teams there, well, it would have been 9 of 10. But again, George Pickens is a different type of receiver than CeeDee Lamb is. Now, CeeDee Lamb has the ability to go on fire. But I think this game comes down to the amount of usage that Javonte Williams gets, because you need to keep Patrick Mahomes on that sideline as much as possible. So you have to run that football. I expect Javonte to have 20 to 23 carries. That's got to be the minimum amount for me, because again, you want Patrick Mahomes left on the sideline. That's where you want the guy. Because guess what? He can't score from the sideline. Again, the way that the Cowboys are playing defense currently is so much better than the nonsense zone stuff that Eberflus was running earlier. It was just insane. I think this Cowboys defense can stop Patrick Mahomes. I would look for DaRon Bland to do exactly what he did against Brock Bowers, against a much older Travis Kelce. So again, with Ravel and Kalen Carson playing more outside boundary type corner, I don't believe that they're going to let Rice loose. I think Malik Hooker will be over the top. Wherever Rice goes. And again, Worthy and Juju Schuster, do they really scare me? No, they really don't scare me. it was very enjoyable to watch that Eagles offense absolutely collapse in the second half, though. They absolutely were dead cold silent. That was a beautiful thing to see. So everybody, I want you to make sure that you hit like and subscribe. As well, in the description, I have the Fanatics logo in there, and if you hit on that and you buy something, gee, I get a little something. Wow, that would be nice. But again, this Cowboys team with Overshone and Ravel and Logan Wilson and Quinnen Williams, this defense is a very different animal. When you stop the guy who had 2,000 yards last year in Saquon Barkley to 22 yards over with 10 carries, I think you might have found the answer. I think you might have found the answer. Now, Eberflus, I don't like the guy. I never have been a fan of his because he's a Rod Marinelli guy. Yes, he was the linebackers coach and all that jazz in his prior stint here in Dallas. But again, I never liked Marinelli's defenses either. I really didn't like his defenses. It was a horrible experience as far as I'm concerned. But the one thing I want to see different, Coach Schottenheimer, you didn't need to go for that touchdown. You have Brandon Aubrey. It was a chip shot. You take the 3 points. You take those points. You don't need to make Dak Prescott and the offense look any worse than they are in the red zone by going for it. It's ridiculous. You take the 3 points and you stop them on defense, which is exactly what they did anyway. And then, of course, in the end, Brandon Aubrey comes in with a short field goal to win the game. I don't understand the necessity of always going for it on fourth down. Stop doing that nonsense. It is just ridiculous. So, again, my score for this week, boy, I'm tempted to say the Cowboys win this one. I am very tempted. What the heck? I'll say it. 27-20. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So there you have it.
Find that map?
Okay, perfect. Everybody, take care.